Toy Story is still one of the greatest Pixar animated franchise today. The first movie aired in 1995 and was about living toys who did not want people to find out that they were alive. The story revolves around iconic toys like Woody and Buzz, and today we are going to look at every toy and human being who featured in the animation, then see some of the people responsible for voicing them after 30 years. And to start with is the spaceman called Buzz Lightyear. He was a heroic action figure from space depicted as a space ranger working under the authority of the Star Command. Just like a real human being, Buzz had emotions and would sometimes experience feelings like sadness and sometimes pride and happiness. And even though he was just one of many Buzz Lightyear toys, he always thought that he was the real deal and would not listen to any voice of reason. He had different powers like flying, he could shoot laser, he was skilled in karate, and was also modeled to glow in the dark. He was voiced by Tim Allen. Woody was a cowboy doll who was originally the best doll of Andy. He was a cowboy sheriff who was so smart and determined in life, and was also very passionate to his doll friends whom he lived with. He considered all the dolls to be family and always tried his best to keep them together at all times. After Andy grew up and stopped playing with him, Woody started experiencing sadness and frustration but would try his best not to show the others. He was considered their leader, and his responsibilities never allowed him to show any kind of weakness. A brave and loving cowboy voiced by the iconic Tom Hanks. Rex was literally a T-Rex and was an anxious green plastic doll that also belonged to Andy and now to Bonnie Anderson. You'd expect him to be fierce and fearsome due to his apex appearance, but he was one of the most lovable toys in the franchise. He always suffered from worries and insecurities concerning his small roar, but was again a good friend to every doll and would come around whenever he was needed. Just like any other toy, he also had the fear of being replaced by his owner or being thrown away and getting forgotten. Voiced by Wallace Shawn. Another character was Ham, who was a piggy bank and one of the major toys in the film. His best friend was a toy called Mr. Potato Head, who we shall discuss later, both of whom were always seen playing games and high-fiving each other in their meetings. He was one of the few toys who had the ability to learn his surroundings and adapt to different situations. He was considered to be wise and also the most knowledgeable toy about the real world as well. He loved reading books, holding money, and also playing video games with Rex. This adorable pig was voiced by John Ratzenberger. Slinky was a wooden pull toy dachshund with a metal Slinky midsection. He spoke with a Kentuckian accent and was so loyal to Woody in everything he did. His behavior resembled that of a real-life dog, and was a good boy who was playful and loved to be petted. Other characteristics which resembled a normal dog included barking and growling to something he didn't like. He always hid when he was afraid, he was hyper, and always loved being around positive energy. His stretchy midsection could be used for various purposes like forming a bridge and as a descending rope when trying to climb down. He was voiced by the late Jim Varney, who was an American actor and comedian. He sadly passed away on 10th of February 2000 at the young age of 50, and his passing was due to lung cancer. He smoked a lot when he was young, and in 1998 he was diagnosed with the illness which followed him to his grave. Sid Phillips was Andy's next-door neighbor. He was a troubled boy who did extremely horrible things to his toys instead of treating them with love and care. After learning that the toys were alive, he was in shock and promised to change his ways and how he felt towards them. He mostly terrorized his little sister's toys by using them for scary experiments out of curiosity. He was not necessarily evil, as he didn't do all the bad things to hurt the toys, but would do it because he was just a little kid, and that's what little kids do. After he grew up, he became a garbage man and was voiced by Eric Von Detten. Jessie was a cowgirl ragdoll of the 1950s and was a former member of the Woody's Roundup gang. She originally belonged to a girl known as Emily and was a very hyper lady who was always excited and friendly to everyone. We learnt that she was claustrophobic and never wanted to be locked in storage rooms. She also liked being loved by any child and was blessed with the ability to yodel like a true cowgirl. She was very caring towards her friends and would also become very brave when situations were tough. Voiced by Joan Cusack. Andy Davis was the original owner of the toys. He used to play with them every day after school, and his favorite toy was Woody. Even after growing up, he still loved his toys, but he inevitably gave them away when he went to college, and their new owner was a girl called Bonnie. He lived with his mother and sister, and was a 6-year-old kid who loved his toys, and the toys loved him as well. He handled them with care from the first to the last day of his childhood days, and his departure to college was so emotional both to the toys and to us the viewers. The few sentences he spoke were from a voice actor called Donald Riagnu. And now to the beautiful Mrs. Potato Head, who was the wife of Mr. Potato Head. She made her first appearance in the second film of Toy Story and appeared to have lost one of her eyes. She was just a minor character who loved chilling with her husband, and just like every other toy, she loved when humans played with her. What she never appreciated was being called Sweet Potato, especially by a character called Lotso. She was voiced by the beautiful Estelle Harris, who was an actress and comedian. She was mostly famous for playing the role of Estelle Costanza in Seinfeld, but she passed away on the 2nd of April, 2022 from natural causes at the mighty age of 93. Mr. Potato Head was the infamous husband of Mrs. Potato Head. He spoke with a Brooklyn accent and was the sarcastic member of the group. In most of the games which the toys played, he was always picked as the villain, and this role made his personality cynical and irritable. He was mostly rude but had a good heart deep down, and was the best friend of Rex the dinosaur. He also loved and took care of his wife, and was always there for the team whenever they needed him. He was voiced by the late Don Rickles, who was known back in the 80s for his unhinged style of comedy. He was married since 1965 until his passing on April 6, 2017 at the age of 90. He passed away due to complications of kidney failure. Bo Peep was a porcelain shepherdess and the longtime girlfriend of Woody. She was very romantic and had strong feelings for Woody. Mrs. Davis was the mother to Andy who raised and took care of Andy as a single mother. She was a very loving parent both to Andy and her daughter Molly. Sarge was the commander of an army of plastic toy soldiers who were very professional and disciplined as warriors. Stinky Pete initially appeared kind and soft-spoken, but was later discovered to be sinister and an antagonist in the franchise. Hannah was Sid's young sister who lost her dolls to Sid. She loved playing with her toys, but Sid would always take them for his cruel experiments. Lenny was a small binocular that formerly belonged to Andy. He would often use Lenny to see far distances just like the real binoculars. Mr. Spell appeared mostly as a background character and was a toy used for educational purposes. Rocky was a former heavyweight wrestler and was a toy based on the collectible Wrestling Superstars figures. And finally the cute Ducky, who was a carnival toy that always longed to have a kid to call their owner.